And we're live. What's up? We are back after a little vacation there.
Well, we didn't get to go on a vacation, so that's
we
lame.
didn't. But
it was a staycation.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Oh, because we went to
California. Oh, we did go to California.
Did we do that on the podcast? Did we talk about that?
Did we? I don't
know.
Anyway.
But it's season 2 of what do we call our show?
Marriages for Quitters.
Where we learn to be selfish, sexy with each other.
Don't get murdered.
Yeah. That's another one, I think.
That's not fun.
Where we stop being selfish and learn to be our person's person. And we're trying something new this season with guests. We have 2 beautiful guests. Well, we have 1 beautiful guest and then Bo.
I like how you did that. That was good.
So yeah, we got Bo and Kat with us. I'm Lucas. This is my wife, Lindsay. Tell us what we're talking about today.
We're talking about the business that I started. I started a strength and conditioning gym in December of 2019, and just
a terrible time to start a gym.
Yeah,
that's true. Oh man, I didn't even think of that.
We didn't realize that all that was about to happen, but that definitely presented some serious challenges for us. Now, like going into it, I would have never been able to do what I'm doing now, or I wouldn't even thought of attempting to start it if I didn't have Kat, because I'm good at the in-person coaching aspect of it, but when it comes to like logistics of like
business,
anything other than the in-person coaching, terrible. Like
it does speak to like how husbands and wives complement each other, or should complement each other. Because it's the same thing with my wife. It's I'm not great at.
Just kidding.
I'm not great at scheduling and planning as much as she is, but I'm good at
everything else.
Everything else, yeah.
Just say it.
We both like take on like very specific roles to make like what we're doing work, and it's never gonna be like an equal division of labor, but it works for us and it works for our business. And
when he said he wanted to start a gym, what was your reaction? What was your thought?
I was like, are you crazy?
What were you doing at the time? Like
we were both like just working all the time, trying to save up money. We're in our house. We're trying to fix it up. We have 2 dogs. Like we were just super busy all the time. And he obviously already worked out all the time, and I did sort of. And it started out with us getting our own home gym to make it more convenient to like facilitate all of that. And it just kind of
one thing led to another.
Escalated.
Well, once I started our home gym, we started having random people that just wanted to come over there and work out. And like I knew that I was like I could direct somebody on how to get them like a springboard into a fitness journey, and I knew, like, because I had made good progress on my own, like I knew a little something. But then after I was working with people in my garage for like a summer, I was like, oh, I think I'm really good at this, because I was seeing these changes happening for all these people, and then I was like, maybe I should just try and do this for real. And like when I would go to drop into other CrossFit gyms and stuff, the coaches that I would meet with there, whoever was coaching me, I would tell them about what I had going on, and they would all encourage me, like, yeah, you need to just do it. And
that's good.
When they would say that to me, I'd just be like, yeah, right, I could never do that.
Because you live in a pretty small town, right?
Extremely small.
So how many other gyms would you say are in like how far would you travel for a gym? Like 25 miles max?
No, at least. It'd be like,
I don't know, 15 minutes is like,
yeah.
I don't want to have to go further than that.
As far as I would go for it to drive to a gym.
You're saying, I'm thinking you're talking about from
no.
mile.
Like how long would you sacrifice?
Well, everything is so much more spread out where we're at.
Yeah.
So like my parents, they live close by, but close by is like relative to like, it's still a 15, 20-minute drive to their house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Mayo, obviously you grew up there.
Yeah.
But year round, there's 2,000 people that live there year round. So like my graduating class in high school was a big class, and it was like 52 people.
Dang.
Wow.
And
my
like
graduating was like 3,000 or something crazy like that.
And like, so the town over Fairview, their graduating class, like the same year was like everyone graduated, and it was like 16.
Wow. 16 people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kindergarten
I'm
for
thinking
12th grade is all
1,600.
in the
No.
same,
Yeah.
all in the same little building there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool though. I like going to school there.
So you saw a need kind of in the community, and then just
Yeah.
Because there's only one other gym.
Well, there's a chiropractor opened a gym out in Luzerne, but I think it's closed now. And then, I mean, obviously the gym that I'm in now, I'm just renting a space from Ty at the Mac. Like his gym was there, but all it is like, I mean, there's equipment in there and you can go work out, but there's nobody to train you and there's nobody to give you a program or anything like that. So, or there's nobody to give you nutrition coaching, which in my opinion is like where that's the most important part.
That's like number one. Yeah,
it is.
You can work out all day, and
yeah.
if your nutrition ain't right, ain't gonna do anything.
Yeah, it's not gonna do much for you.
A little bit, I guess.
Well,
feel better.
I think me and Katherine also come from like extreme different backgrounds. Like we had, we were so different.
Completely different upbringings.
Yeah, completely different upbringings, completely different personalities. So I think we also complement each other really well because of that, I think, for the most part. I'd have to say, like how she says it's never equal, like a 50-50 split division of labor. There will be times where I have to do way more of one thing and she'll have to do way more of another thing. But I would have to say if we did break it all the way down, she probably does more altogether than me. But because like whereas
all that.
Well, whereas like once in a while I might not be able to coach a class because I got to go do something or something or other, and she might have to step in and coach a class for me. Now we write online programming for people, right?
Oh, cool.
If
like the WODs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we really do more strength training than anything. I have most of my certs are in CrossFit, but I actually have a lot of issues with how they go about their training. So I don't.
A lot of room for mistakes and injuries.
Yeah, I don't agree with it in the sense of like I don't like the fact that they have, say, really skilled movements like a barbell snatch or something like that.
Those are hard.
Like it's just crazy for somebody that's never even worked out before. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have you do this super complicated movement. We want you to do as fast as you can.
Right.
It just sounds stupid to me. So even when I do write CrossFit workouts, because we still have conditioning days, and a lot of days we will do CrossFit Metcons for those, but I write them. I usually don't use any programming that's outsourced or anything for them. So like, it'll have core lifts in there and stuff. Like you might see deadlifts in there or a variation of a squat or something, but I'm not gonna have anybody do something super technical unless it's like maybe me or one of my other coaches. But if they haven't any movement that I'm gonna ask somebody to do fast or in a CrossFit Metcon, I know for sure that they have already mastered it in a slow, controlled strength setting.
Right.
Especially because like the demographic we work with too is mostly like parents or like people who just want to move. Like they want to be able to play with their kids, get up off the floor. Super basic things that a lot of people take for granted, like riding your bike, being able to go for a bike ride with your kids. Like it's amazing how much more you appreciate being able to do those things when you see people who can't and who want to be able to and are willing to put in the work to do it. And it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Not even really knowing you guys, you can tell that like you're the one that's more there for that community, that's there for the strength training and the learning, all those movements. And then you're that, more gentle, compassionate voice that's like, okay, let me teach you how to get your body in shape to be able to do those.
Bo is he's such an awesome coach. He is amazing at working with people. And he is very much a people person.
Yeah.
And I can fill in that role, but I could never replace that role.
Okay.
I do more of like the business end, our finances, our paperwork, that end of it. But I can be flexible enough to step in for a few.
Well, that's what I was getting into is you can come to the gym and coach if I can't. Mm-hmm. Whereas like if we go to write some online programming for somebody, I will give her all the have them do this, that, and the other. Like I'll give her all the information. If she wasn't there, I'd just be looking at that computer. Nothing would get done because I'm like useless on that thing. Uh-huh. So I'm not saying that's not something I should work on and be able to do eventually, but I'm not there right now. And I probably would never get there if she wasn't there to try and teach me, because that's what we're doing right now. She's trying to teach me.
Showing you the ropes of the worldwide interwebs.
Kat, if you were to open a business, what would it be?
I never had an ambition to even run a business.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy working for someone. It was never a thought in my head to hey, we're a business owner and we're responsible for all of this kind of stuff. So it had never even crossed my mind until Bo was he's the go-getter. He's okay. I want to do this.
Okay, yep, I can see that.
I'm okay, well, I guess we'll figure it out.
That's good. That's where your personalities complement each other again.
Yeah, so where else, and other than your gym, where's the balance between you two working together? How do you balance the family? You have a kid, right? I mean, that's less than 2 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a lot. So we never actually really planned on having children.
Oops.
So he was a wedding night. Good one.
Just little Bob Ross, happy little accident.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is, though. He's wonderful, but we never actually planned on having kids. So our life was not at all set up to have kids.
Oh, okay.
So we have a 2-bedroom house, and one was our bedroom and one was my library.
Oh, okay.
And so we had to do so much change to convert all of that. And with that, all our business style also had to change because I wanted to be home with Roman, our son. And Bo was like, okay, we're going to try and make this happen as much as we can financially afford to. Mm-hmm. And so after he was born, I got 12 whole weeks of just me and him bonding, and Bo took on so much of that burden. And it was an amazing experience, but I do more of the taking care of our home, taking care of our son, taking care of the finances, making sure the gym, if we need to purchase new equipment, because we use exercise bands, if some of those break, making sure we get those. That is my end. Taxes, all of that. And Bo,
yeah, so what do you do?
That's a good question.
So he is the heart and soul of it. He is the people person.
Well, you need the passion to run a business.
Exactly. He is the go-getter drive. I want to do this. I want to help people. I want to improve their lives, and I'm good at it.
I think we also balance each other out in the fact that I am so in the zone of I want my life, I want to live as long as I can, and I want to have the best quality of life that I can through the duration of that time. That's my goal for other people when they come into the gym as well. That's all my mind is focused on. Where she is we have to be financially stable and everything has to be we can't lose our house or this, that, or the other, which I won't even think about any of that stuff. Yeah. And if I didn't have her, I'd probably just lose everything pretty quick. But on the other hand, if she didn't have me, she would potentially lose her health. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
without someone there pushing me you have to, you can't just get up, do something. I know the house has to be cleaned, but you have to take care of yourself first. Eat, drink water. He's
or also having the freedom to be home with your son. You might not have had that.
I wouldn't have had that without him
But you also wouldn't have had a son without him, too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. Yeah.
A little bit, just a little.
He caused the problem so he could be the solution. I see.
Right.
I did all the work there.
That's good, though. I mean, it's good for our partners to keep us honest and responsible, and like we're not always thinking of the same things, you know.
Oh, he definitely keeps me like accountable.
She's the personal trainer in our family. I tried it once, and I know all the science and stuff, but being gentle and nice to people is not my like. If like you were talking about training the Amish, you know, and their limited skills, and I would just be like, "Why don't you know this? Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Like, get out of my face right now."
A lot of the people I trained were like ended up becoming really good friends because
that's happened with me as well.
Yeah, it's like you build this relationship with them. You're with them at 5 in the frickin' morning sometimes, and then they, you know, and then I end up being in their wedding or, you know, watching their grandkid. It's like, it's a really tight relationship that you can build. Yeah, so
that's what I was thinking when you were talking about like because I've trained athletes that are really skilled athletes before. And it's fun. Like, I still have fun doing it, and I like seeing people hit PRs or hit huge weights or whatever, but it is there is no comparison in between that to where, like, this might make me cry. Like, when I have a mom that comes in and she's obese and she's just like, I can't play with my kids. Like, I get down on the floor with them. I'm so out of breath, I can't even move. And then, like, a couple months later, I'm walking through town and I see her, like, riding her bike with her kids. That's been an experience to me. Like, well, when I seen that, I was like, but that's happened to me a lot of times. Or even, like, my biggest passion is probably actually working with student athletes, like kids, not, and particularly, like, nerdy, dorky kids that would do terrible in sports and everything. Because they listen. They really want to.
They want it. It's not naturally,
right.
You know.
Because I'll have stud athletes that come in, and they can do pretty good, like naturally, but they don't want to do any other nutrition plan. They ain't trying to hear none of that.
They don't want to work on their form as much.
Right.
Like they don't want to hear what they just want to. You know, look
they
what I can do.
Want to show up and Instagram. Or
yeah.
So like when I get I'm working with a kid right now that's. He's like that. He's a great kid, and everybody loves him, and they really support him and stuff. But like he's just not very athletic, and I've been working with him for about a year now, and he is doing awesome. Like he's doing so good, and when like he gets on my in-body scan, so he can see like his progress, or if he's doing bad, you know, I'm sure you know what that is. You know what an in-body scan is?
That's like the phone scan?
No, it's like it's an actual machine. You actually you have an alcohol pad. You wipe your hands and feet off. And then you get on it. You got to be fasted. It'll give you your skeletal muscle
like
mass.
An electrical current to like measure the density of
so
everything in your body.
So it's like a more
that's that smart people.
More hardcore.
I don't know how it works. I know it prints out your stuff and it shows you how good you're doing.
Cool. Yeah, I have like a handheld version, but I usually I do it like 3 times because it gives you different answers every single time.
Right.
So.
Ours is super fancy.
Yeah. It sounds like
but when I seeing him get his results and being like jumping up and down because he's so happy, and then when I get on Facebook and I see his mom post about like, oh, we won this wrestling match tonight, I'm like, that's good stuff.
So
to me.
rewarding.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah.
What would you guys say to people that are considering starting a business together?
Be really sure that it's what you want to do and you're passionate about what you're doing. Because if you don't have that like passion and drive and enjoying it, you're gonna end up hating it.
That's what I would say. Make sure you enjoy it.
Or if you don't have
what you're gonna do.
If you don't have a good team, it's like you could do it, but then taxes, finance, all that stuff it would crash and burn. So I definitely get like a good plan and make sure it's something you love.
You're not just showing up to do work.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different than a 9 to 5, because you don't just get to clock out and stop thinking about it, you know. Which she'll think about her job. She's planning and doing stuff. She's the hardest working person I know.
Gosh.
I just lift heavy things that you can't. You work way harder than me.
No. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
You jerk.
I guess I don't even know what you do now, Lucas. What do you do now?
Oh, you know what? I got laid off from one job, and it's a total God thing. I got laid off at the exact time another company was hiring the same position. And so
is a God
super
thing.
like
It's a God wink.
slam the door shut on one thing.
Yeah.
Completely just wreck us, and then it's like, oh, but here we go.
2 weeks later, you're gonna get structure. Still haven't answered your question yet, but you're gonna get a structured job. You're gonna get a structured pay, bonuses, health benefits, all this stuff, and which I didn't have any of that at this old position. But it's a roofing company project manager.
Okay.
Working for Victor's. Yeah.
Company project manager. So. I
tell a bunch of roofers like, hey, do that.
This job.
So you tell them to lift the heavy thing.
Sometimes last couple years I'd get like most of the crews are Hispanic descent. So we'd BS around and see who could lift the most shingles up, and they smoked me. I got like maybe 3 bundles, and they're like, 4 or 5, like no big deal.
They are hard workers.
They just grab a piece of OSB and just carry it up the ladder.
I've worked with them before.
You just went into your interview and they're like, so what do you bring to this position? Oh, just, point to things and tell them.
That was basically the interview process. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at pointing and saying, do that part over there. And no, there's a lot. It's one of those jobs where it doesn't really turn off when you get home either. It's a lot better than I used to be a recruiter. And that was hell, because it was like phone calls 24/7. And I couldn't like not talk to them because I had a quota to meet of people starting the job. So I was like, I better make sure they're a good candidate. And it was some like really crappy candidate wasting my time. Terrible.
That's what I was going to ask. You reminded me. How do you not bring, when you work together, how do you not bring work home with you into your marriage, like into the actual relationship of it? I feel like it's going to be constly kind of
how do you mitigate it?
So it is more of like a mitigating thing because it is always there, and but it goes back to like we both have our own specific jobs. So Bo's job is the people, the business. Mine is that side, and when we're home together, like we are together as a family.
Yeah, we are present.
We try and make it a priority to be together, playing with our son, taking care of him, taking care of each other. I'll cook dinner, you do this, like just making sure that when we're there, we're present. And even though like it does follow us home, especially because we're writing at home programming on the computer and stuff, it does follow us home. But like we try and like just be there.
Right.
Well, for the longest time too, it was like an all-day job for me. I just recently, we just hired 2 coaches now.
Nice.
So it's starting to go in the direction that I've always wanted it to go in. But for the longest, I'd have to be there at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd be there from 5:30 until like 10. But then I'd have to be back there at 4:30, and I wouldn't leave again until like 7:30.
Okay.
And it was every day. Every day was like that.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. I had
no break
classes. And there was I had 2 years probably where out of 2 years, I probably had 3 or 4 whole days off.
Just grinding.
And I would just be
kind of
there
what I feel like that's
day, every day.
expected when you start a business.
Yeah,
You're
which
just gonna
it
have to
is. But the other hand of it was that we are in such a small town. Not only such a small town, but I don't know how to say this without sounding like a douchebag. The mentality of where everybody's at with like all they are familiar with is the Mac and the fact that there's no trainer there, so they don't realize when they come to my end of the gym they're paying because somebody's teaching them a new lifestyle. Like you're not just coming in and using my equipment or something.
Right.
You're not even. That's not even the part you're paying for. That's the least
You're paying
valuable
for
part of
training,
all of it. Yeah, you're paying for your plan, for your nutrition plan. You're paying for nutrition coaching. You're paying for an in-person coach that's watching how you move the whole time.
You're paying for like someone to keep you safe and show you how to do it correctly. Which safety is like a really big thing of making sure. like people aren't like doing some, because I'm sure you've probably seen videos of people going into like Planet Fitness and all that and just using equipment completely wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, I've seen it. I want to pull one up here and just tell the people. Like,
this is what she's talking about.
But, no, it's true though, because an injury sets you back. Like you could work hard for a whole year, injure yourself, and now you're set back just months of progress. And I mean, you could still eat different, but you're gonna lose all those gains, or not all of them, but a lot of. Like I've been struggling myself from injury. Mine's from softball though, so. And I got out at home plate, so it's like it wasn't even worth it. What a waste.
What a waste.
I don't know. Might not be a waste. Don't listen to me on that kind of stuff. I'm very competitive. So
we got to get you down here for softball coming up.
Oh.
Or
I'm
dodgeball.
not competitive in that because I'm terrible at it. Maybe I should practice. Dodgeball, though. Yeah. I'd totally be down
There's
for
a dodgeball competition in like
She's a
February.
dodgeball.
Oh, yeah?
How does the baseball thing work with being blind in one eye?
Oh. Not good. Like, I was never good at it. Like I tried a lot, and you could see that's all I was doing was trying.
Get the ball. Where is it?
Yeah, I did actually. I have like a vague memory of getting hit in the head with a ball once.
Oh
like,
man,
where it rocked me too. Where I was like, I don't think I want to do this.
I got knocked out in softball once. Knocked out in football a few times.
Yeah.
Softball, I hit someone else's hip with my head. We both dove for it. Well, he was standing there because I just didn't see him standing there. So he was just like getting ready to catch it, and I dove and knocked myself out on his hip.
On a hip. Wow.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
That is weird.
That had to hurt his hip, man. That would be.
Too bad he wasn't like have any meat right there. You know?
Right.
Shakira.
No, that was Jeremy Wanfor, if you guys know who that is.
Did you grow up in Mayo as well?
I did.
Jeremy.
Yeah. I have not been. Bo has a very diverse background, and I have not gone too far outside of Mayo.
I'm really only good with faces too. Like, like all the time, people will be like, "Oh, do you know this person?" I'm like, "I don't know," and then I'll see them, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Yeah."
No, I'm constantly like looking at her, like, who is this person?
That happens to me.
Like I'm bad with names, but I've had to step up my game because I'm like, I gotta do this for me and for him. I gotta.
I'm trying.
So we were in like a prayer.
I remembered Catherine.
Yeah.
I feel like
now you did.
That's an easy one.
Well, I did initially when I sat down. I was like, wait a minute.
What's her name?
What's her name again?
You're gonna be editing this, and you're like, babe, what was that girl's name again? I'm like, oh my god. No. We were in a prayer circle, and you had to pray for the person like to the left or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super.
So he had this girl. And
no, it just kept. It was like a really big circle. So I had a lot of time to think too. Yeah. And I'm just like, I kept like eyeballing her. Help.
I think
help.
I prayed, and then out loud I was like, and for Paula.
Which is funny because I still forgot it.
I knew he was gonna struggle, so I'm like,
you knew he was gonna fumble it.
And I love Paula. I go there a lot. She's a great musician and a cool lady.
Yeah.
I just
had a brain fart, especially when you're praying out loud. And at that point, I don't think you were used to it, so it was probably like.
No, probably not. Now I go in my ice bath. I pray out loud every day.
How long can you do in that thing?
Ice bath?
Yeah. I
could be in there indefinitely.
No.
Well, like,
I mean, I would expire, but like,
when you do the ice bath, how long do you do it for?
I go about 2.5 minutes.
Oh man, you're so much tougher than me. I'm just now stepping into it, and I am so. Soft.
We can get you in. We can get you in mine.
I did my part today.
Well,
I only made it 30 seconds, but
I was struggling with it for a while. But it is one of the best decisions ever.
I have a tub for it, but I decided I was going to start with the shower, and I almost feel like the shower might be worse.
No,
because you're like getting peppered with, like you're never like you're not
like
submerged.
No,
it's not worse. So
no.
It's the worst is yet to come. Okay, well,
it's I think it's more like frightening. The shower, like when you get hit at first, it's like
Yeah,
it was just like that.
And the ice bath is like, it just sucks the heat right out of your entire body. Yeah,
it's hard to breathe at first. I did like 15 seconds, and I was like, I hate this so much. I hate it. And now I'm up to a minute and 15 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
And it's so much easier now. Like once you have, and I love it. I think
Yeah, a lot of it's mental.
I can tell that it's definitely mental because, like, by the end of it today, I was starting to think, I feel like I actually could stand in here a little bit longer, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. I said 30 seconds. That's what I'm doing.
That's actually one of the goals me and my other coaches set for the next 3 months is we all want to be able to build up to 3 minutes in the ice bath.
Okay.
So
you should build an ice bath in the gym.
That's where that tub is. It's at the gym.
Nice.
Okay. You'd have to have some kind of filtration.
You can buy
like a pool.
Like these standalone coolers. They're kind of expensive, but you take the water from the tub into there, cools it off, goes back in. So it'll circulate the temperature.
I feel like they're catching on right now, the ice bath thing. So it could be
part
really
of our
nice
building isn't heated right now.
Oh, so it's already
so it's already
there you go.
It's outside temperature.
Perfect. It's an ice sauna.
That is great. So, you know what? We were having a discussion about, this is off topic, but who gives a shit? It's our podcast.
Yeah.
So, we were having a discussion about before working out and after working out. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. But I think.
You mean for the ice bath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think before it.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Just because I've heard a lot of really smart people say that.
I feel like it would get your adrenaline drive going more, especially if you're lifting.
Well,
it wakes you up.
I mean, I guess, like, I'm sure that it really drives down inflammation. So it might, there might be, I feel like you can make an argument for either one. I guess I don't have the argument besides that I've heard people that I trust.
Well, you had a good point. Like
who was
beforehand to get if you're going to do cardio or something, doing it beforehand.
You do have to, it is cool. Like, because if you do it after, I've noticed I jump right into a hot shower because I just got worked out. Now I got in the ice bath. Now I'm taking a shower and I'm like warming up and I stay in there extended because I'm like, this feels so good.
Right.
But when I go before I work out, then I'm want to work out harder because let's get warm up. Come on, let's go. Let's do this.
We should do the same workout with our watch and see how many calories we burn. But I guess it's different.
I don't know if it would track the. It's not like, if we had like a Gatorade studio, like
had the
actual calorimeter or whatever you call those things.
Have you guys ever used a Whoop strap or anything like that?
Sounds naughty.
It does sound naughty.
So they're like
it's like a fancy.
It's like a fancy Fitbit.
Okay.
But it measures is it VO2 max?
No, it doesn't show that. It's not that fancy. It shows your heart rate though, but their watches show your heart rate.
It shows your strain rating.
Yeah, it shows your strain rating, but it shows stuff like your respiratory rate and your heart rate and
how does it do the breathing? Oh, does it have a chest piece too?
It's
just a strap. There's no clock on it or anything.
Okay.
How does it know all that stuff?
I don't know.
Your pulse, right?
Yeah.
It's a Whoop strap?
How the blood moves through your body.
Is it super expensive?
Yeah, it is. It's way above our, whatever you would call it, our budget.
It's a Whoops strap.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well,
you're doing a lot of those this past few years.
That's what I mean. I would make terrible financial decisions if it wasn't for her. We can't. What are you talking about? We can't buy that. And I'm like, I got that much money in my bank account right now. She's like, that's all of your money. You can't spend all of it.
You're gonna need some later. I hate to tell you.
So
groceries are expensive.
Yeah, I'm still I guess I'm like a little kid when it comes to that stuff. I'm
put a lock on the bank account. Hey,
which that's what I was getting into with it being with where everybody is at in the town. All they've ever known for a gym is Ty's gym, and it's $45 a month there.
I didn't even know that when I was there. I just went to the school.
Right.
The school got the workout room.
Then there's that.
Yeah.
So when they hear my rates, even though they're not crazy at all, you can come 5-6 days a week to my gym and you pay $150 a month. Or you come 3 days a week and you pay $95 a month. Those are they're really reasonable rates.
That's for
you to get small group training with a good trainer and get solid programming, and you get nutrition programming that comes along free with it if you have a membership. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But when I first started, my rates were way lower than that.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's a trap too, man. That sucks.
It was terrible. Yeah. But I don't know if I could have did it much differently because I needed to expose people to it.
And and you got to get kind of get a momentum, a flow going.
Yeah,
I did the same thing with videography. When I did that, I was doing like weddings for like $300.
Completely undersell yourself.
Yeah. And so, if you break it all down, I was making like 25 cents an hour with all the work or something.
That's about what I did. Yeah.
Something stupid. So then like now it's like, well, I don't really do weddings anymore, but the price is like $2,000 a wedding. And it's a lot of work. It's more than what the people see. But,
I'm sure.
But I had to, do that terrible, like 3 weddings a weekend working for nothing to kind of get the word of mouth.
Name out there.
Yeah.
But then the clients that pay low are the worst clients too. 100%. The ones who are paying your $150 or $100 rate, those are going to be quality people you work with. The people who are paying less, you're going to be like, you need to leave my gym.
I've noticed that that the more serious they are about it, the more they're going to be all in on it. And it's not even just doesn't even just benefit me. It's going to benefit them that much more. Like, you're only cheating yourself out of it if you're not, you look at it as like, oh, I'm spending this much more money, but it's really a very small amount of money for a huge investment in your health, in my opinion.
Not even just your health, investment in your family. Right. Yourself.
There's so much.
And it's just getting out of the house too. Like, some people like have okay, you're spending $100 right now, so I better get to the gym. Otherwise, be like, oh, it's only $30 bucks. It's only $50. I don't need to go. It's fine.
It incentivizes people.
And you're getting like camaraderie. You have friends. You're interacting instead of just Facebooking and talking crap to people online.
There we have a couple of clients that their main reason.
What's happening with our dogs right now?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Tell them to shut them up.
No, like their main reason is for coming is like mental health.
Yeah, I have a lot of people like that.
It is great for your body. Like, even just showing up and just people get stuck in a funk, and if they're not doing something active, then it just gets worse and worse. You find reasons to stay further and further away. Yeah,
that's where he comes in and like pushing, because I am that person that's like, I got so much to do, like 5 million things.
Everybody's got so much to do,
and it's like
I'm just too busy, and he's there being like, no, you have to do it. Go to the gym, go work out, make sure you're eating, like.
And you got to learn to like turn off that anxiety too, which is the hard part, because when you get there and there's other stuff that needs to be done, it's like, I can't focus on this, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here, I got to go, and then like you're really hurting both sides, because you're not getting the workout you should be getting, and you're not doing the work that you could be doing. So it's
you're
like a
self-sabotaging both.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Well, when we first started out, I had a lot of back and forth. Like we didn't, like, I would always be saying, I don't know if we can sustain this. We would both be saying that to each other when I first started, because my first year, the whole year, like $600 a month. That's what I was making, and I was there like 50 hours a week or something.
When we could be there,
like
damn.
And there was a whole shutdown.
Oh yeah,
and that
even affected Mayo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
there was like a solid 3 months where we didn't have any income.
Ugh.
And then they wouldn't give me unemployment, and
because you're working for yourself.
Well, and I hadn't been doing it long enough, but I've never applied for it, and
you've earned plenty
right. I've been eligible for it before, and I'm like, I don't like the idea of getting money for nothing. And then, but when the pandemic came, I'm like, well, like, I can't even go work. I want to work right now, and I just can't. And I'm like, if there was ever a time I'll accept unemployment, it's right now. Yeah. And they were like, no.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I've taken it a few times, and it's a whole, like, they don't want you to get it, it feels like sometimes.
Right.
And it's like, I paid for this.
Right.
This came out of my check.
You owe me that.
This is actually my money that you're going to give me. And it's not, it doesn't compare to your paycheck, at all. So, but it'll help get you by, and it works great. But yeah, every time I go into the office, and I'm like, hey, like, I signed up. Did I do this right? And then because otherwise they'll. I think during the pandemic, it was like 6 months till I got any unemployment.
Yeah.
Then you got a big pile of it, though. Didn't you?
Then I was like, woo!
Cool.
And then I went to the casino, got some new shoes. No, I didn't do any of that. But did I?
No, you're like, we should invest in Dogecoin.
I would have said some stuff like that.
No.
Put it all. Which now I'm like, oh, maybe we should have.
Yeah, it did do a little thing there.
Yeah. I made some, I forgot if it was Dogecoin or one. I made some good money on one of the coins. I could have made a lot more.
But she wouldn't let you.
She could be a
no,
like
it's actually
a millionaire right now.
I let peer pressure get scare me from keeping it, and I sold it like soon, and then I bought it right back, and then I lost more, and I was like, stop.
Well, when Bitcoin was like, how much was it?
I don't know. It was like $1 a Bitcoin.
Like $1 Bitcoin.
Wow.
And she
It was like
decided on
2009.
ice cream instead.
Yeah. I was like,
She decided what?
On
So,
ice cream.
Oh.
I can get
That's all the
Bitcoin
money she had.
or ice cream. Wait, an ice cream
It was like
stock?
$1 a Bitcoin, and I was like, this isn't even real. Like, why?
It is so
Everyone was talking about it. I'm like, no, I'll just go get ice cream or whatever else I want to do with my $5. And
The whole thing is so stupid. Try to get someone to explain how it makes sense.
Bitcoin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything. All they do is explain in circles.
Yeah, it's a circular
and it's like
definition.
nothing makes sense. Like, it's not valuable. It has no value. All you did was wasted electricity. It's like, if I tell you this mouse has value, well, that actually has real value. So I don't know how to, that doesn't compare. But like playing cards, to me,
like
have more value.
It's like a rainbow. Like
Yeah.
that thing, you could be like, oh, that thing's worth $1 million.
One day they could,
Get it?
And it's exactly. So Bitcoin, one day they could be like, this doesn't really make sense to be valuable anymore. And everyone could be like, I don't like it. And it just goes to zero. And that's it.
Right.
There's no basis.
it gives its value from how much other people value it.
Yeah. And it's so dumb.
That's a goofy thing they got going on. I mean,
The ice cream would have tasted better.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have got a lot of ice cream. With, but,
Yeah.
you know.
You could have it for a year.
Either way, like you buy one Bitcoin or whatever, and then like it'd be hard to sell it. It's one of those things like, should I sell it now? It might go up more.
Yeah.
Now what is it now, like 70,000 or something stupid?
I don't think it's 70. I think last time I got a guy that works with me that he shows it to me like every time I work with him. He's really excited about it. He's done pretty good with making money off of it, but I think last time I checked it was like 40 something, like 49 or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is nuts.
Per coin. You can't even like trade one coin because or you buy stuff with like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction.
Yeah.
Which is still a fraction. I don't know why I would say fraction of a fraction. It's still a fraction.
Right. The smallest fraction.
0.0000.
So what are some tips that you found useful in your managing of your business and of your just life for other people, other married peoples, that they can learn and grow upon, put in their relationship?
In their relationship
or
in their marriage or their business or their either way. What's some good things that translate?
Well, kind of goes into what I was building on there is that like I said, I was only making $600 a month there at the beginning there. And then even after that, the next year I made a little bit more every month. It was averaging like $800 a month. And then the next year it was like $1,000 a month. And now, I don't know, it's like $1,200 a month. You know what I mean? But now we're at a point where like I work part-time because I got other coaches. She works part-time. So it's possible. And we're not extremely uncomfortable all the time. I'm not totally exhausted all the time. And when I really sit back and I look at the grand scheme of things, I think to myself, when someone starts a business, especially with all things considered that we had to go through for it, our area, the pandemic, XYZ, even if we didn't have to go through all that, even if we had a regular start to it, I think you should still look at your first 5 years like building the business. You're not going to don't look for profits. Don't look to be like balling out of control or anything. None of that's going to happen. It's just a giant stress sandwich for 5 years.
Sandwich.
So and we're in it's our 4th year now. So, and I feel like we're at this point where we've constantly been, it's very slow, but we've constantly been getting better. So I would say my tip would be don't quit because it's hard and you think that it's not going to work out. If you're trending in the right direction, I say stick it out for those 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, if you still feel exactly the same, maybe it's time to consider. But give it the time to grow to see because you don't want to quit quit right before it's about to, like right before the miracle happens.
I've seen a bunch of memes like that where, you got the guy digging and he stops right before he gets
the little gold.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a trick that can keep you doing something wrong forever too. Well, I could be almost there. But yeah.
I think it's very admirable of you, Kat, for seeing the value in his what he believes in and sticking through that, because it's so hard. Like, money is one of the top reasons for people to get divorced and break up, and having to live through that of like, okay, we got to bite the bullet for a few years, and you still stuck with him. And I think that's very inspirational and admirable of you as a wife. You guys are married. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just realized I didn't know.
It was definitely, we had a few really hard years. I mean, I'm sure every marriage has some hard years, but we've had a couple, and we just keep going at it.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that right now is not forever, and a lot of relationships, they get like for example, when I was working on the garage, when we first moved in, the basement was completely unfinished, and my band needed a place to practice. And I was like, the garage, right? It was not soundproofed. And the cops got called on us right away. So like, I need to do something about this now. And so I spent like 2 weeks, and it would like really hurt our marriage because I was out there instead of like fixing up the house and making the house usable. And it's easy to lose track of, or to think that like, this pain and the suffering is forever. And I guess sometimes it could be, but if you're trending in the right direction, it will end, and it will get better.
And I think it also makes a big difference. So Bo and I have two very, very different backgrounds. I had a very stable home life. I have two wonderful, loving parents. Like complete stability, the way you would want a kid to be raised. And Bo had a completely different upbringing.
I was completely addicted to cigarettes and weed and taking opiates by the time I was 10 years old.
Wow.
10?
Yeah, like the first time I ever did drugs was with my parent. My mom was the first one that ever smoked weed with me, and then I was 7, and then she just didn't stop. And then she's like, "Oh, you smoke cigarettes too?" And then whenever she would buy a pack, she'd buy me a pack.
Oh
and
my gosh!
And then she was like, "Oh, I got some of these Norcos. You want one of these?"
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I've heard lots of stories like that, and especially in Mayo too. It's like, it's pretty common for parents to, but that's damn. I'm sorry, man.
No, to be honest, if I could go back, because that story that I just told you right there, it's the same until all the way up until I went to prison.
Okay.
If I could go back, I would not change one thing about any of it.
It probably lit the fire in you too.
Well, I absolutely love the person that I am today, and I love my family that I have today.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
I wouldn't change any of it.
I was just having the same talk with my uncle, like, because like you think about what could be or what, but you don't want to lose. Like, I'm happy with who I am as a person now. I don't want to risk screwing that up.
Yeah.
And I think about like if I became successful at music, like when I first chased the dream, I was a douchebag. If I would have got everything I hoped for right then, I would have never gotten better. I would have never, got closer to God or found my wife. I would have been like, I don't need no stupid wife and kids. Like, what do I need that for?
The things that are meaningful.
Like, and it is hard. So it's like I might adjust some things, but very carefully.
Right.
Not to lose who I am. I definitely wouldn't get all my dreams right away. That's not what I would go for. I would just maybe instill harder values.
Right.
Stronger values. Better values?
I know what
values.
You're
Did you guys have anything, that we didn't ask about in your, like, that you were thinking of when you came out that you'd like to say in case we get famous and you want to get your...
No. What's the name? Did you say the name of your gym?
Of your gym.
Gets kind of wordy, but there's a reason for it. I don't care if it's wordy.
So it's Bullseye, Soul Strength, and Conditioning.
Okay.
And so each part of it has like its own meaning.
It's like, and when someone asks me like, what is the purpose of your gym? I'm like, it's in the name. And like, I think that strength is the biggest marker for your longevity in life and for the quality of your life, because if you're that's why people go into nursing homes when they get older, because they lose strength and they lose their independence. They can't do stuff for themselves. So the longer you can stay strong, the better your life's going to be, the longer you're going to live. And then when it comes to conditioning, the number one leading cause of death is heart failure. So work your heart, get your heart strong, keep it strong. And then the soul part, that's kind of corny, but I don't care. I think that for me, especially, there's a lot of workouts that I'll do that are just really, really, really hard, and they're not even going to benefit you in your conditioning or in your strength or in your muscle.
But work your mind and your soul.
But you will have to you're going to have to develop your character just to get through it. Like huge workouts, like we just did, me and Kate and Seth, we all just did a CrossFit Hero workout called Chad, like I don't know, whatever. It's on Veterans Day. It's like 1,000 box step-ups for time. With a weighted vest. Guys have to do it with a 40-pound vest.
What do girls get? Just their boobs?
20-pound vest.
For some, that could be. Yeah.
So, but I've had a lot of people ask me, like, well, what do you even get out of that? I'm like,
pain.
Yeah. I have to have the conversation with myself of, I want to quit right now. Like, and for something to be hard enough to get me to say that to myself, it's got to be really hard at this point.
Yeah.
And the longer I've done this and the longer I do it, the higher that threshold is going to get. And along with me constantly pushing the envelope on that, I develop my character more and more. So to me, I've in my personal opinion, that's what is the most important thing for me getting out of the gym, even more so than the strength or conditioning end of it, because for me that stuff is fun. Yeah. I just enjoy doing it.
He likes the pain.
Yeah, I do.
That's what running is for me. It's that same mental. You got to overcome that. It's like the whole time you're like, this is like, I got a rock in my shoe, or like, you give yourself any reason. Maybe I should just quit now. Yeah. And it's like, no, man, you could do this. Come on.
Right.
And it sucks. I have been able to run. That's like my go-to. Well, and because my leg thing,
Achilles,
stupid little leg.
It sounds like it sucks.
Stupid little leg.
It's just dumb. It's not like a huge pain, but it's like I could feel something. It's gonna be a bad thing if I
push it.
Don't.
Yeah. And there's not a lot that, like, I'll push myself, get blisters and everything like that. But this is like, it's too scary.
Yeah. You don't want to.
I don't want to be handicapped because of it.
Well, that's what happens to me when I get injuries. Like, I'll be like, I can't do what I want because I'll just hurt myself more. So then, like, I will always find a way to do something where I feel like I'm gonna croak, or I'm like, I'm pushing hard enough to where I get into that extreme discomfort. But like, I like getting into a position where I have to revert to rigorous honesty with myself. Because for me, that's how I got off of drugs. It's how I cleaned my life up from like when I went to prison, I was totally whacked out on meth, and I was on all kinds of drugs. I was completely dependent on opiates and heroin, and
is that like the opposite of like meth?
Yeah, and I
just doing them all,
twist them all up together. All
were you
that
like
stuff.
a whopping 93 pounds or something?
Yeah, I was about 90 pounds when I got to quarantine. I was.
How did this sweet little cat find a prison? But not kidding.
No, that's a good question. That's a good question. There's a story there. When I was in prison, Ursula was out here doing her "I'm gonna save the world" thing, and she's like Ursula. She was my mom's best friend.
Oh, okay.
She's like a huge what would you call her? Like, she's a sponsor for people that go to NA and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
She's really active in the recovery community. I guess that's the best way I could put it. But she wrote my whole bit out with me. Even when all my family, everybody disowned me, she was literally the only person talking to me for probably like 2 years.
Wow.
And she was like
whole 5 years in prison.
Yeah, but a couple of family came around before I got out. So, she was asking me, she's like, would you be willing to write or would you be willing to let me record you giving like a testimony? Like you can end up here with me. Like if you want to do drugs, we're going to show it at the school. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd be down for that. And my first bit in prison up until I got to like the parole board the first time was not getting any better. I was actually getting much worse. Like, cause like I was in a gang and I thought I was super cool. Right. And, in the midst of all this, while I'm waiting for, they were actually going to approve it, which is super weird because you'll never hear about cameras getting into Michigan prison systems. They just don't. It's not a thing that you ever see. Yeah. I don't know why, but they don't. It doesn't fly in Michigan. So they were getting ready to. They were really going to approve it though, and then I got in a fight, and it was like really bad. It was like a crazy situation that is bad, and I ended up leaving Pugsley. It was in Traverse City. It was a prison in Traverse City. Okay. And it was an unsecure level 1, and I ended up going all the way to Oaks level 4, administrative segregation from there. Wow. And so I was at level 4 in the hole, and she goes, Ursula wrote me a letter, and she said, well, I don't think they're going to let you do that. No. She's like, could you just write it? Could you just write it on paper and send it to me, and we'll have somebody read it? And I don't know if he really read it, but I was like, I want Tim Jensen to read it because I know he's got a fear of public speaking, and I thought that was funny. And he was my old wrestling coach. Did he read it?
I forget who read it, but so there's 6 years.
I know
difference.
Jensen.
Yeah, there's 6 years between Bo and I. So when he was in prison, I was still in high school.
Oh.
Okay.
And
so you heard the story, and you're like, ooh.
They put his picture up. They put his picture up up on the projector screen and like read his like whole speech or whatever. And then years later, Bo gets out of prison and comes into where I'm working at the time, which is the pizza shop. And I'm working, I think it was in the back. Yep. And
best pizza around.
He asked the waitress, he's like, who's that chick? And she's like, that's Katherine. And he's like, give her my number.
No, I asked for her number. And she, do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. I asked for her number, and then the waitress comes back out. To be full disclosure, I'm just trying to hook up with any chick I can right now. I'm not looking at dating anybody. I was locked up for 5 years. So she comes back. I'm not specifically not looking for a relationship. I don't want one because all I want is to focus on myself. But I'm still a human, so I'm going to try and do stuff. Oh, yeah. So my waitress comes back out, and she goes, I think she knows you, Bo. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, what? And she's like, she said she doesn't want anything to do with you. And I was like, oh.
I specifically said, isn't that Bo Yoder? I don't want anything to do with him.
It stung a little bit, but then I was like, I should try and make her my girlfriend. I should try and be, because I was like, she's smart. Because if I was her, I would be like, get lost, dude. Yeah, so then I left, and I came back a couple days later, and she was my waitress again. And I gave her like, my tip was like way more than my bill even was. And I left, and then she sent me a friend request on Facebook.
Hey,
I thought you didn't want nothing to do with me, and now you want to be my buddy.
I felt like I talked to him a little bit, and I was like, I'm being a little judgmental. Maybe I'll just add him on Facebook. I won't send him a message or anything like that. I'll just add him on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And he sent me a message, and I was like, aren't you that girl from the pizza shop? I'm like, yes. And we just started talking, and then we went on a date, which was a little bit of a pity date.
A lot of one.
And I realized, hey, this guy is super nice. Okay. And we were at the restaurant, and a little old lady walked up to us, and her name was Miss Betty. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, Bo, I knew the sun was shining for a reason today. It's so good to see you. And I was like, he can't be that bad if this little old lady likes him. And we just started dating, and
Miss Betty hadn't seen me in like 10 years, and I used to work with her.
Oh,
and, cute. But I hadn't seen anybody because I hadn't really been out in public yet. So when we walked into that restaurant, like it's my house, so everybody that sees me knows me. Yeah. Every single person is like, oh my God, they're all excited to see me. And then when I seen Miss Betty and she came up to me and she said all that, I was like, yes. Yes.
My plan is working perfectly.
But so yeah, after that, then we actually went about it like a genuine, real good way. Like we probably had like close to 20 dates before we even kissed or anything.
Nice.
Wow.
So we developed a good friendship before we ever got into anything else. And it was really slow at first, and then it was really fast because I was only on parole for like 8 months, and we were buying a house together before I was even off paper.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It did. It went like almost uncomfortably fast, like looking back now.
Yeah.
But, like,
I can't believe we did
that.
that. But I'm so happy we did because it was the best time we could have bought a house.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It was good timing.
Yeah, I got terrible now.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't even want to sell my house. You got to sell your house and buy it.
Yeah.
I make a lot of money in your house, but you got to spend the same amount.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well,
Yeah, that's how we met though.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And,
I love it.
7 years later.
How did you guys meet though?
oh,
I
don't.
feel like you kind of were telling me.
We'll tell you about that later. We already did a whole episode where we talked
yeah,
about
we did
that.
They don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
hear that again. No.
Well, I'm sure they do because it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. But
Similar situation without the prison.
But that's the best part of the story.
I like
yeah,
that.
it's all about
It
that. I don't
really
want
is,
anything
though.
to do with him.
Yeah. And then I was
you're
like, oh, okay.
You're not that bad. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It really is though, because I don't think if you wouldn't have gone to prison, we never.
Yeah, I would have never.
Oh,
even
wow,
met
yeah.
Kat.
It's crazy how those things work out.
Yeah.
It is.
But imagine telling your family though, like I'm dating this guy. He's on parole.
Right.
That is, yeah.
Super weird that her parents were always cool with me. They were
Yeah,
never
that's
not
awesome.
like.
They always trusted my judgment. They were.
Oh.
That's good.
It-
I mean, they raised you right.
They did.
You
They're
had good
awesome
parents,
parents.
yeah.
They were a little wary, but like they always trusted my judgment, and now they love him.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Well, one of his best friends went to prison, and he's like one of the most amazing
They were
people.
Was it
hanging out.
Brandon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, him too?
Oh, I didn't know if he did that.
No, the one. Well, you probably don't know. He lives just down the road. I don't want to say anything on here.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
You.
But he's like one of the coolest
He was
guys
he
ever.
was with you at a certain point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say it off cam.
Yeah, we'll say that.
All right. Well, unless you
Um,
guys have any other tips,
No,
I think
I
we're.
mean, not unless you have any other questions for us.
No,
I
I had a
think we're
fun
good.
time though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it
was
was good.
good.
Yeah,
You
it
guys
was good.
you did perfect.
Naturals. Now you need to set up your own podcast inside of the gym.
Yeah.
I've actually been talking a lot about it.
For the people that lives you've transformed and stuff, like how they started. Those things
It's
are
easy.
huge on like
And you don't need
any
cameras.
social media platform. Yep.
So we're getting back to the. He's like, yes, do it. Yes, let's do it. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. I know how much this equipment costs.
I'll give you guys tips and tricks, but you don't need cameras. You don't need to do it this way at all. You can just do it.
I think this is great.
Yeah.
I love your setup.
It needs some refining.
It's
No, this is good.
I want to get a little more refined and
Over
better.
time, we'll get
The biggest thing is, and we'll talk about this after the camera, but thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You
It was
guys
so nice to meet you too.
Are so awesome,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited.
Thank you guys for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Shout out to Bo and Kat and Bullseye, soul stealing.
That was close. He's
Soul
put a lot of effort into that.
What is that? What is it?
Soul strength and conditioning.
Soul strength and conditioning.
Soul strength and conditioning.
It's
It
gotta be
is
like
wordy. I know it.
BESASC. No, I don't know. Anyways. Thank you guys for stopping by, making the drive. I know it's a long
Yes,
drive.
thank
You
you.
guys are awesome. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. CUNT.
Okay, bye.